and welcome to the video. In today's segment, we are going to be talking about mob mentality and survival planning, and how this can cause mass hysteria. Mass hysteria has played a crucial role in events throughout the world's history, with mob mentality and survival planning assisting the fear it needs to build and snowball. We are going to connect both of these topics to the events of The Crucible, a novel written by Arthur Miller, as well as to modern events. Mass hysteria has been a deep root in human history since the beginning of time. Any history textbook you open will prove this. And the question we will be asking you today: what causes fear, and how can that same fear lead to widespread hysteria and panic?
Actually, I think...
Thou hast thoughts? Show me a witch!
To tackle how mob mentality is a part of and affects mass hysteria, we need to discuss what causes violent mobs to break out and how they work with, spread, and create fear.
There are three different theories. First is contagion theory, which reasons that crowds exert a hypnotic influence over their members, causing them to stir and shift to extremes a lot easier, and that their behavior will devote itself to be the same as the worst or noisiest member of the group due to the anonymity a group comes with.
Did you hear about Abigail What's-Her-Face in the other village?
I did!
Oh my goodness. How could those people be so gullible as to listen to a woman, no less, and not just a woman, a teenage girl?
I know, it's crazy.
They're just so gullible. We would never believe somebody like her.
Never.
It's so ridiculous.
I think we should run around and rubble the banks and run around with pitchforks!
Why? That's awful!
Yeah, what on earth?
The power of crowd controls you. The power of crowd controls you.
Something is happening. I heard.
We can't control ourselves! Anarchy!
Because the negative person's actions stick out more, they have more influence over the crowd. Excitement, as well as fear, our key factor, can be so easily spread across a connected group if the person doing it has major influence, allowing a crowd to be easily sent into a hyper-emotional and irrational frenzy, resulting in the urges needed for a mob. The fact that there are so many people in a group is what allows them to actually turn violent. Because there are so many people all doing something, people often think that the consequences of doing so won't affect them because of the sheer number of people will cause their actions to get looked over, thus allowing the violence to actually break out because of this acceptance.
In the Crucible, certain people, which would be the girls and maybe Reverend Hale, were the loudest and most noticeable, boldly accusing people of witchcraft and going around doing eccentric things to prove it.
I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil. For the record, I didn't hang out with any of those chicks. I'm happily married.
Since everyone was in a connected, anonymous crowd, due to the fact that it was a whole town banding up against something, the emotional and irrational fear got easily ramped up, causing them to break out into a violent mob.
The next theory is convergence theory, which argues that crowd behavior doesn't come from the group after it's formed, but comes from the like-minded individuals or the individual that put it together.
Which is basically saying that people who have a hate or fear for something creates a group and then embeds those feelings into it, causing that group to then turn into a violent one towards that particular topic over time. For example, in The Crucible, most people had pre-existing hate towards witches and satanic rituals.
Satanic, shall we?
So now that I've created this group, I just want to spread it around that I hate Satan. Is everybody cool with that? Because now you've all got to hate him too.
No?
What? No.
We're just a club.
Yeah.
Then I'll feed it to you.
Huh?
Lovely.
What a lovely day to take a nature walk and enjoy a bite of this delicious human arm. We hate you!
Everyone was very religious and wanted to keep such evil things out of their lives, so they formed a group to actively attack forms of those things, such as the people accused of being witches. The pre-existing hate for, as well as fear of, witches and Satan was already there within the person who created the group to spread it, and it came to light even more once it was, leading to more hate and a breakout of irrational violence.
The third and final theory is emergent norm theory, which is a combination of the previous two.
Both theories don't really believe in each other. They think of themselves as two separate things, where one doesn't affect the other. But this mashup combines the key parts of the thing to reach a better understanding.
To be more precise, it's the idea that violent and hateful ideas are embedded into a group by whoever forms it because they want to cause violence using that group. Then, because anonymity means a lack of consequences to most, and because the creator's negative influences stick out more than other opinions, violent urges, emotions, and irrational behavior commence.
All of this, plus other stressors such as hard times, a tendency to agree on everything, and a group only interacting with itself can also add on to mob mentality. For example, a tendency to agree on everything allows negative things within a group to spread faster.
Like how all the people banding together against Witchcraft in the Crucible had the same process and beliefs on it.
The group only interacting with itself means that they have no outside influence to show them what they are doing is getting out of hand.
Like how the people of Salem were interacting with other, less crazed towns during the trials.
And hard times put more stress on top of the stress caused by the common problem.
Like how the people of Salem were already worn out to the general conditions of the time. The stress, the urges, and the emotions cause people to be afraid. Not only does the setting and tone set by mob stem fear, the same things that fuel the violent mob mentality help spread it. The connectivity of the mob and the increased emotion from within cause fear to be passed around and shared amongst groups. The two and all their factors then come together, and eventually, people get so afraid, they lose their minds. That's how it connects to hysteria. The mob mindset and the fear it creates and works with eventually go so far that people can't think straight. They're just groups of scared individuals running off pure emotions and the beliefs spread to them. Just like the frightened people of Salem with their ramped up fear of witchcraft and Satanism given to them by the church. Which leads to a catastrophic result. That result is, of course, hysteria. People become so afraid they go crazy. They start acting irrationally and they don't stop for anyone or consider anyone else's side or feelings. They are so fueled by terror that all they can do is act with the same mindset as their mob, which is just as insane as they are. Causing massive violent fights and acts to take place as a result of acting without thinking in large numbers.
Those large numbers, then, of course, spread that insanity around, because large groups can easily get around to more areas and meet more people. Those areas, if also affected by outside stressors, pre-existing hate, or forming mobs of their own, then get involved. The same factors that help create mob mentality also allow it to spread, sucking in more people and wreaking all of the rationality in its way.
People in the Crucible were so driven by fear that it drove them nuts. And with that state steering a large group of them, they were able to do incredible amounts of damage without stopping to reconsider. Their irrational actions, caused by fear within a mob mentality they had utilized, produced, and spread, led to hysteria and a widespread panic across Salem, just like it has during other events throughout history.
It's also to note that this is a very serious event that can occur, and it can occur anytime, anywhere, no matter how far back history traces. In fact, there is a very tangible example of this that happened just 5 short years ago. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. COVID-19 was a global pandemic that swept through the world's nations. Over 700 million people had their lives taken by this virus. Then, almost 2 years ago, a vaccine came to the public. The US government made a huge push for people to receive it. The push became so great that companies began firing workers that didn't receive the vaccine, and the government itself went as far as to dishonorably discharge soldiers in the army if they had not taken it.
I'm not asking you, soldier, I'm telling you! I simply won't take it, sir! It goes against my liberties and my rights! Well, is that so? Then you will be discharged! Discharged? But I need this road to feed my family! Well, you should have thought that before you dropped out!
Oh, you're mighty strong, sir.
Let me get over here! Let me get in there! Unemployment! I don't want to go! Get in there! Get out!
This began a rift between the citizens of the states. There were those who received the vaccine and believed in it, and those who were skeptical of it. The people for the vaccine were already somewhat of a mob, in a sense. Driven by the fear of the disease, people who first had the idea of the vaccine created the pro-vaccine group, utilizing convergence theory. That group then ramped up and started to go heavily out of control due to the easy spread of fear and the need to act, utilizing contagion theory. Those who did not receive the vaccine added outside stressors to the situation, which created more strain on those for the vaccine and amped up the risk of disease to spread even further. The stress levels rose from the anti-vaccinators and the mob mentality so much that it led to a nationwide panic. People began to act unnatural and commit strange, potentially dangerous behaviors due to hysteria, and were very upset with those that had not taken the vaccine yet. While this paranoia is gradually dying away, some are still very alert about the disease and have the fear that it will spread once again.
To put all of this wordy information into a chewable size, just remember this equation. Mob mentality plus outside stressors equals mass hysteria.
Hi, ma'am. Is there something I can help
Stay back! Stay back! This is all mine! All mine! I've been to 3 Walmarts. And I've already pepper sprayed 4 other women. Don't you think I won't get it onto you too?
Whoa, ma'am. Please put that down. I'm not gonna take anything. I just wanted to know what you were doing.
Listen here,
Wait.
kiddo.
You're taking all of our toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and Clorox wipes. Shouldn't you save some for...
Listen here, kiddo. I've been through 2 world wars. I know this. I'm not going to deal with this because you brought it. What are you doing? Get over here! Hurry into Grocery Mart now before these crazy ladies buy up all the toilet paper and sanitizer. You think you're safe, everything?
What even was that? I don't know. Something about COVID and toilet paper?
Well, they were prepared by a lot. We should help them. How to really get ready in case a witch or someone else that works for the devil tries to come into town.
Where in good heavens has thou came from?
No way you need to know.
Continuing on from this, dear viewer, we shall move into what thou might need done first.
Oh yes, dear Alice, thou is right. In order to prepare for witchcraft or work of the devil, you must stay away from people that are accused. And if someone you are very close to is accused of being a witch, then stay away from them.
Indeed, alongside keeping distance from the person or people who are accused, it's best to keep your eyes open. And if you get supplies from the accused, make sure that you get your supplies from them before the accusations get too serious.
Part of what my colleagues have said may also count when it comes to COVID. In time of COVID social distancing, both in public and private, had been a must. Stocking up on necessities is also something that must be done.
Things that had been gotten at the time of COVID were toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, and of course, food and water.
You know, you're awfully hairy for a woman.
No, only a little bit.
A little bit? You have a full-on beard!
That you just saw was hysteria.
Here's how survival planning can lead to that.
In short, we're all gonna die! Be prepared.
When people are frightened by something like a natural disaster, they panic.
That's how fear ties into survival planning. It fuels it. Driven by that fear of everything being destroyed or changed, they start to utterly freak out and go into survival mode. They stock up, make excessive plans, and become irrationally violent towards any sign of danger because they think things like, the end of times are coming, we're all gonna die! They hoard and plan and check because their fear presented by the current situation causes them to panic. Just like how the townspeople's fear of witches in the Crucible caused them to go into survival mode and hoarding together in groups and jump at the slightest hint of witchcraft. And just like how people during COVID's fear of getting infected, dying, and being locked down caused them to overstock on cleaning supplies and disinfectant, as well as violently social distance themselves from anyone they thought to be infected. As the event goes on and the stress of that time increases, that fear-driven survival planning evolves. It gets so bad that people drive themselves crazy planning for the worst, creating widespread hysteria. Everyone who's insanely checking, planning, and stalking, interacting with other people, then spreads that fear onto the next person. Their craziness rubs off on the other person, spreading it around and making everyone in that area break down into an irrational, emotional, survival-driven mess.
Thank you for getting rid of them for us. My friend and I really appreciate it.
Wait. Who are you guys?
Those guys have been on our trail forever.
I know, they're crazy about us.
Real.
Wait. Are you the witch?
Yep, and the devil himself.
On that note,
Wait, is that my time life?
Yep, and in a second, you'll... Wait. Patty, what's wrong with your hourglass?
firstly, you know I don't like being called Patty. Secondly, nothing. You're the one that touched it.
I
You must have broke it.
I didn't do anything, you insufferable... Oh, there it goes.
You are so lucky. Aw, who's a good kitty?
Toodles!
I'm supposed to say Toodles.
No, I'm supposed to say Toodles!
We went over this 2 minutes ago!
One way or another, I'm gonna find ya. I'm gonna get you one way or another. I'm gonna win ya.
Action.
Oh, what a lovely day to take a walk and enjoy a... Oh!
I'm gonna get you